Welcome to Split Ends and Friends podcast. This podcast isn't just about hair, makeup, fashion, and how to be successful in this industry. We will talk about all that, but it's much more. It's about how hairstylists are changing the world. We're bringing communities together and making a difference. We're spreading kindness around like confetti. Hosted by Tricia Rivas, owner of Trixies Salon and founder of the nonprofit Dreamcatchers Foundation, Inc., and co-hosted by Hannah Arendt, social media guru, hairstylist at Trixies, and director of education. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Split Ends and Friends. We are so excited about our guest that we have this morning. Her name is Christa Beeler, and we have gotten to know her a lot better recently and just have grown to love her sparkling personality. Literally, it is so sparkling. And which just lends towards her business, which is Life Full of Sparkle. So she does a lot of things in the community and to help build up others and help bring out their inner beauty and just kind of support confident women, which is what we love about her. But we kind of wanted just to mention a few of the things she does. So she is a director with Lime Life by Alcombe, and we'll kind of get into her story, but that's kind of how that kind of evolved into also doing her coaching business, which is Life Full of Sparkle. And then you teach fitness classes as well, right? Yoga and Pilates, is that right?
Yeah, I teach yoga, Pilates, and bar, and I have some personal training clients, so a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So, Christa, welcome to our podcast. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
So tell us, I know we wanted to kind of start about talking about, I mean, I'm sure some people might not know what Lime Life by Alcombe is unless they have tried it or maybe seen someone who is involved with it. But tell us about kind of how you got started with that first and have become a director with that.
Yeah, so I have always been a product junkie, whether it's from hair or makeup. I'm sure you guys can relate to that.
Yes.
Find like a sparkly new product with, great packaging and you're like, ooh, I think I want to try it. Or you have a girlfriend that says, oh, I have this product and I absolutely love it. It's transforming my skin. And you're like, yeah, I want to try it. So I had a girlfriend that she was using some skincare products and she was like, hey, would you want to try them? And I was like, yeah, they're all natural. I had started teaching yoga within the last year. And so was just really trying to, bring my life into the all natural, pare things down, less additives, less bad stuff, not only in what I ate, but in how I moved, being kinder to my body. And then obviously, what I was putting on my skin. So I said, yeah, I'll try it. And it really did start to transform my skin. And I said, hey, I think, I want to do this. So I, signed up to do it. And then what I didn't realize is that it's so much more than just the products.
Yeah.
And so it's a tribe of women that support each other no matter what and give each other grace, which are two of my core values that I always show up as, of like kindness and grace are something that's really important to me, to meet people where they are on their journey.
And I have to say, I love the products. I use the foundation and I use the bronzer, the skin bronzer, the tanner. Yes. The tanner. I'm a product junkie also.
Yeah. So that's on the other side. So that's the makeup side, and that's the professional makeup side. And Alcone is a probably 65 plus year company that's a professional makeup company. And they, as a company, would have a tiny little store. It's still there in Times Square, where all the makeup artists would go to get their products to fill their kits.
Oh, wow.
And so what they did as a family-owned company is they said, hey, we need to figure out a way to support our makeup artists, and more than just trading time for money. It's time to really support them in gathering wealth. And so they curated the collection of all of the best products that everybody has in their kits. And then they package them under Lime Life by Alcombe. So our foundation is RCMA. It's what you see on, all the celebrity kits and all of that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Our sprays, they're Scandinavia. It's but it's something that as a makeup artist, you can have them in your kit and then you can retail and sell them. And it's residual income as those orders pop up, you know, while you're going about your day and working. And what we all know about building wealth is it's more than one stream of income. And it's, you know, so you can also do the makeup, but then stop trading your time for your money in the background. And basically, as a yoga instructor, I do the same thing. You know, if I'm not standing in front of a class teaching, then I'm not making money, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so this not only really supports that, but also then the community that we have behind it, which I do think makes Lime Life by Elcombe different. It's, we are so supportive. It is run by, so a man started the company, and it's run by his daughter, Michelle, and then her niece, Madison. And so it's still family owned. They are very women driven. And the granddad who started all of it has all daughters. And so the whole entire point of the company is to empower women so they know their worth. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And
I love
it really
that.
drives through everything that they do.
I love that. I had no idea about all of that.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of this funny little story. And so one of the things I love it is that it was already this amazing product, and then they just figured out a way to empower people more. Yeah. And whenever you're doing anything like that, you know it's going to be successful.
Now, is the store still in Times Square?
It sure is. It's a tiny little store, and when you walk, it has a green awning, and it says Alco. So they still have their parent company called Alco. Yep. And you can go to their website, and much of the makeup that they manufacture, you can, you know, buy right on there as a professional, and lights and all kinds of stuff. But when you walk into the store, it's super tiny. All the top part, we do have some Lime Life stuff in there, but when you go downstairs into the basement, it's all of like the blood and the latex. And so everything that you see on a movie set for all of that crazy stuff, a lot of it is purchased from Alcombe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We'll have to go there.
I know.
When we go to New York.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I can't wait to see what you guys think. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. You know, and it's funny too, because as makeup artists, you know, how we get the ins and outs and stuff. And I had, the one time that I got to help on New York Fashion Week, I went to the MAC professional store in New York. I'm not kidding you. Jeremy's like, I'm not going in with you because I know this is going to be forever. I was there for 2 hours in this little tiny store. Oh my gosh, It was heaven. Absolutely heaven. So we are definitely going to have to try that out when we go next time.
Yeah, well, that is just so cool for, you know, somebody to be able to be an independent makeup artist and still be able to retail things and not have to just be like, hey, go to Sephora. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either, but you're working to recommend the right products to people all day.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing one of the things that I do love about it, and I am not a professional makeup artist by any stretch of the imagination. I really help women, everyday women, find like that kind of 5 to 10 minute fast phase.
Yeah,
which I love. Tricia, you know, like our foundation covers super fast because it's 50% pigment. So it's so I am not a professional by any stretch of the imagination, but the thing I love about it is the accessibility. As you guys know, even with hair products, like a pro product is a different product.
It is.
It just it's like painting with Sherwin-Williams paint, or painting from paint with, like, you know, from some just Joe Schmo's store. It's two very, very different things.
Most definitely.
And like you said, you're always searching for the best product for your client. But then you're giving away money. Hey, go to Sephora and get this, and then this is where I get this. You're just giving that away. So it's really built wealth and residual income from people who are amazingly talented, you know, and you're giving your time and talents. And so you might as well have a way to back that up and know your worth, right?
Yeah, I love that. Well, sign me up.
Trisha's on board with everything so far.
I'm filling out my application right now, Christa.
You don't have any time, Trisha.
I know.
That's so
She'll do it
funny.
while she sleeps.
And then I think that's the culture. It's like there's so much education. If you're not a professional like you guys already are, there is so much education by professional makeup artists. Like one of our main ladies, she was the professional makeup artist for CNN for 10 years.
Wow.
Kat Aragon. And a lot of them still do red carpet makeup, but this is a way that they were able to, move their families forward in a way that they thought never possible.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, one thing that I meant to mention when we start this too is that when we had our class with you on Sunday, you just gave us so much phenomenal information as entrepreneurs. Don't mind Hannah's blowing her nose.
I'm so sorry, you guys. It's that time of year.
This is real women on the podcast.
It's true. I won't edit it out.
Hey, I was so intrigued, and I've heard a little bit about it with taking some marketing and social media classes lately, is the affiliate programs. And maybe we could talk a little bit about that also, and get your input on what that looks like.
So it's just another thing of like building another stream of income.
Yes.
And what we were talking about there is, so that's something that I have as well. So, a lot of people are like, oh, it's the same thing. Oh, I love your dress. I mean, Tricia, you're always like, you have the cutest clothes and like dress on. I'm like, oh, where'd you get your dress? Where'd you get your hat? Oh my gosh, your shoes are cute. We were talking to one of your other hairstylists who is a very tall woman. She's 6 feet tall. And
Lisa.
it's like, we as women are a resource for each other, whether it was ages ago where we were like in the village together and it was like, try this recipe for, more breast milk or whatever. I mean, that's how we're created. I mean, that's real. And so now it's evolved into having an Amazon store. So it's the same thing. You can sign up for this thing. It's called Amazon Affiliates. And you basically have your own storefront on Amazon, and it's all products that you would recommend. So, if you're recommending like a hair dryer or a certain straightener or a curling iron, you can say, hey, go to my Instagram page. There's a link there. And you can shop straight from my Amazon store. And then they don't have to go. And it's the same price. They don't pay anything else. But you get a slice of a commission for it. And that is really helpful. And it just helps you to build out your brand.
It does.
And Tricia, it's like if you had a store on there that was all your clothes. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
It's, and the bigger ticket items are really what you're going to make your money on. So a lot of people that do this, they sell cameras, they sell grills, they sell, all of those bigger stuff.
Sure.
But it's just another layer to your brand.
Yeah, and I love that.
Offer. And the reality in the world that we live in today is, yes, I am for everybody who is doing their own thing. If you are stepping out in fear and doing it anyway, which, even to me means posting a video on my Facebook page. Like when I do those makeup lives, every time I'm like, okay, I'm just going to press live.
Yeah.
I am cheering for you. And the thing is that all has worth. And we all give away a lot for free. We do. But that does not help us move forward in some ways. And so, having things like that are very, very helpful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that advice. And like you said, it's just another part of your branding.
Yeah.
And, as we're not just hairstylists.
No.
We are fashion experts. We are hair experts. I mean, hell, we're psychologists,
I was just going to say, I'm like, aren't
thank God we can't provide prescription.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. And that's what we talked about when, I came into your salon on Sunday and did the branding workshop, was each and every single person in there has their own personality, and your vibe attracts your tribe. As I love to say, like, it's not just a saying on a t-shirt at Target. Like, it's real.
It is.
And even though Trixies itself is a brand in of itself, each and every stylist in there has their own personality and their own style. And, somebody that might go to, Tricia doesn't go to Hannah, or vice versa. And that's, and there's power in that. There's not competition in that. There is power. And that's amazing. And there's enough to go around for everybody. I think you posted something on the other day.
Yes.
We have to live in abundance. When we live in fear, literally our walls start closing around in on us. you know? And just because somebody else has an Amazon affiliate store or they've figured it out before you have, you know, we look around on social media all the time and you think, well, she's already figured it out and she's already a million steps ahead of me. And so why should I even do that? Well, there's a whole bunch of women that don't know that that woman exists. Mm-hmm. You do, because you listen to her podcast every day or you see her on Instagram every day. But there's a whole bunch of women that doesn't know she exists. And to be an influencer, you just need one person. Mm-hmm. Then you're an influencer, which you guys already have that. You have people that come to your chairs over and over and over. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be 10 steps ahead. It's one.
I love that. Absolutely love that. And like you said, we all have our own brand and own it. Whatever that brand is, own it. So yeah, I absolutely loved the class on Sunday, and I know that the staff did also. And it was fun to definitely work on our brand, you know, right down to our fonts and the questions that you asked us, you know, our colors. What are our colors? Mm-hmm. You know, even outside of Trixies, you know, yes, some of us wear black.
I do think that black was something that everybody put down. I was like, okay, but pick another color too.
Exactly.
Hey, I picked pink.
That's something I love doing because I think as... You know, I think as entrepreneurs, which, I mean, every hairstylist, every yoga instructor is an entrepreneur. Like, you show up and do your job, but you're responsible for getting people into your chair. Like, that's your own success rate. Mm-hmm. And I think that, you know, even if you're at an office job, it's the same. It's like how you show up every day. If you can show up consistently, it makes a difference in how you move forward. And so that's something I love to do for small businesses. I've done it for a couple of them. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you guys don't have small businesses don't have a lot of times like a training department or a staff development department. It's not something that's in your budget. So to take some time and really dive in and invest in your employees makes them feel good and makes them feel seen and heard and appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. And we are always trying to work on self-development individually and as a team and supporting that. Now, I think what Hannah and I both absolutely adore about you is that you never stop learning.
Yeah.
You're always trying to learn something new, whether it be about, you know, inner work, social media, marketing, branding. You're just constantly learning. Where do you find the time to do that?
So I listen to podcasts, which I think we talked about this. I listen to podcasts every day. And in fact, I found 2 yesterday, which I will send to you guys, between Ed Milet and The Gold Digger, Jenna Fisher. Those 2 episodes were amazing. And so a lot of that stuff you can press play while you're in your car, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I have my phone by me while I'm, you know, putting my makeup on in the morning. A lot of that stuff. And then some of it is just finding time to be still, which I don't have a lot of, but, you know, 15 minutes a day. Okay, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to read this book. And I think it comes a lot from my grandma, actually. My family is from a small town, Dunkerton, Iowa, by Waterloo. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's not a lot of access there. But she raised her 5 children to be worldly, even though they did not have any money and could not really go anywhere. Mm-hmm. It was like, look beyond yourself. And I think that even though today we live in a world where things are very accessible, people close in on the walls in the community around them. And it's important to look beyond that and learn from the people, you know, that are beyond your 4 walls.
Yeah. What does a typical day look like for you?
Well, you know, a typical day ends at 3:00 because I'm a mom of 2 boys and I go and pick them up at school. They go to school about 15 minutes from where I live. Oh, okay. So I always have to remember and give myself grace in the fact that I cannot grind as hard as some other people because my day ends at 3:00 every day.
Yeah.
until my children start to drive themselves. Then I can maybe push a little bit more. But, you know, I'm still that person. It's like, why can't I do more? Why can't I accomplish more? But a lot of times I'll get up in the morning and, you know, make a yoga class, whether that means it's a 5:45 a.m. yoga class or a 9:30. Mm-hmm. I sometimes just listen to that inner voice of what do I need today? Because there's a different crowd at the 9:30. And so if it's that more like talkative, chatty crowd that I need, that's the one I'll hit. And if it's just like, I just woke up and I need to hit my mat in the early morning where everyone are like kind of eyes down, barely awake, I'll go and hit that one in the morning. But then it just depends upon the day. I mean, I'm still 100% a mom. So it's a lot of like laundry and making sure there's food. And then I do some personal development every day, whether that means I, you know, meet with my life coach. I usually have 4 or 5, maybe 6 makeup appointments every week. And just like you guys, some of that involves, you know, some life coaching as well, because women are coming to you for answers of you're troubleshooting stuff, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you know, the weather is changing and I'm not feeling this about my skin, or I finally want to learn how to put makeup on. And those are actually the times that really fill my cup up, you know? So I always take those appointments and I know that at the end, I'm going to feel full and they're going to feel amazing about themselves.
I love that. Well, you know, and we don't call ourselves hairstylists at Trixies. We call ourselves image consultants.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Because it is that whole shebang. That whole shebang. Most definitely.
Well, and you guys know too, as if you change somebody's hair, they walk out completely differently. And then you don't know what that is going to catapult. I like to say I help women find beauty on the outside and on the inside. For some women, it's they want to make a change in their life by starting to move their body. And so I can help them do that, or, you know, what they put in their body, how they feed their body, how they nourish their soul. I'm a resource for all of that. But then some other people, it's like, we start on the outside and that's what makes us feel good. And then we're like, okay, I'm going to get an exercise outfit to make myself feel good. Yeah. And then I'm going to go to the gym and work out. And for everybody, it's very personal. It's very personal, and everybody starts their journey in a different place, whether it's the self-development place or whether it's the beauty on the outside. But it's all a catalyst to change and moving forward. And the one thing that we all know is constant is change. That it's constant.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite quote?
My favorite quote is, and I say it usually at the end of every single yoga class, is be kind beyond measure, because everyone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. And it almost makes me cry every time I say it, because no matter what people look like on the outside or their lives look like on social media or even your spouse, we are all fighting a battle in between our 2 ears and with our heart. You know, people are taking care of their sick parents. People are taking care of their sick children. People are helping their children fight depression. People are fighting for themselves, for their souls, for their inner sparkle. People are holding up their spouses. People are looking for validation. The list goes on and on and on. And it is a battle that happens every moment of every day with every human.
Yes.
Wow.
That
you
does.
Literally have made me cry every time I've talked to you. I'm just letting you know. Every single time.
Krista, do you remember the first seminar Hannah and I attended, and she was crying, and then I started crying, and you're like, why are you crying? I'm like, well, because Hannah's crying.
There's something just about, I don't know, about you.
Yes.
And especially when you do like yoga and things like that. I mean, I've never had someone really like speak to my soul so much as far as like connecting like the feeling of inner beauty or like all of that with yoga. I mean, I know you do, a lot of people do that, but like this, just for some reason, when I have done that with you, it's always just like right at the right time, and it's just what I needed. I'm sure that a lot of other people feel that way.
It's like you meet people right where they're at.
Yeah.
You really do.
And that's the great, and that's, that was something that was put in me, the quality of grace. And I know that because although it might not appear on social media, like I've been through some really hard stuff as well. Yeah. And I'm the same way. Every day I put my feet on the ground and I'm like, today I stand up, and some days it's easier than others. And some days it's not like that. Some days I'm full of joy and I skip through life. But we all have things, and we all have trauma. And we're all fighting for that feeling of bursting joy and inner sparkle. And as long as forward is forward, as long as you keep moving forward towards it, then you're winning.
Mm-hmm. Damn you, now I'm crying. And I hand me a tissue.
You need one? Oh, you don't want one of those.
Yeah. Oh, we do. We just absolutely adore you, Christa, and just want to
thank you so
much. Share you with everyone. Yeah. Sincerely. Mm-hmm. So where do people get in contact with you? I'm not gonna lie, it's like I don't want to share you. It's like we have this little secret.
Time for everybody. You guys can find me at Life Full of Sparkle, both on Facebook and Instagram. So both of those, I'm on them every day. And that's, same thing. It's just like I am just one foot in front of the other. Forward is forward. And one of the big things I have coming up is, for you guys, we talked about this just a little bit before, is I am lucky enough to get to fold myself into the Cant Climb brand, which is the entrepreneurial retreat that I'm going to lead some yoga on in January. So I'm super excited about that. So and maybe you guys will come.
Yeah, and it's in Costa Rica, right?
It's in Costa Rica. It's January 18th through the 25th. I have never spent that much time on myself for personal development. So even for me, I am really looking to have some breakthrough moments. And Emma Hicks is the founder of Cant Climb, and I am super fortunate to have connected with her and blessed to be able to lead some restorative yoga, just like what I did with you guys and what I did at the Bloom retreat. And so I'm blessed to be able to hold space for women there, and I'm super excited about it.
Oh my goodness, Christa, when we were talking earlier, we were just talking about the trip and you hadn't said anything about Cant Climb. It's so funny how small Des Moines is. So Celeste, who we had on a couple weeks ago, was meeting with Emma that night to have dinner to talk about the trip. So Celeste was telling me about the trip last week when she was getting her hair done.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and I think she's going.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes. And so that's it. So it's an amazing panel of women, something, like I said, I mean, we even just a few hours that we spent together, it's like you just don't spend that time for yourself.
No.
And
is this open to the public, or how do people look into it, or how does that work?
It's something that you can sign up for, and it's really for women entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. So the first half of the week will be some personal development work, and then the last half of the week is how does that parlay into your business and stepping forward. There are people coming from all over the country there's 7 women that are sitting on the panel. So we're going to dance on the beach. There'll be branding workshops. There's a ton of time to meet one-on-one with people to move yourself forward in life and in your business. But then also tons of time. It's at the Bodhi Yoga Resort. So there's also tons of time where you can go and do yoga and just be on the beach. And then, of course, as we all know, your vibe attracts your tribe. So the group of women that is assembling to go on this trip is amazing. So just the support and the sisterhood that you'll have probably forever, however long you decide to have, will be amazing.
I love that. And real quick too, Christa, yoga looks different for everybody, don't you think? Because when I think of yoga, and I love how the classes that Hannah and I have attended, it's a gentle yoga. It's more about speaking to your inner self. You talked a lot about speaking to your inner child speaking to yourself like you were 5 years old, which again always makes me cry. And I love that. I love that part of yoga, the meditation part, the relaxing, the breathing.
I think it's a really, really important part. I think we are in Des Moines, such a young yoga community that people here are mostly familiar with the stuff that is hot and fast. So that's like hot vinyasa yoga. And that's not for everybody. It's not accessible to everybody, and it's not for everybody. And I think part of, in our young community here, a lot of what gets lost is the mental benefits to yoga.
Yeah.
Which is something I really try to stoke and fire, even when I am teaching a hot yoga class, that it is connect to your breath, move a little bit slower, stretch your breath out to meet your movements. And yoga is a moving meditation. And eventually, when you can sing, you're yolking breath and movement. That's yoga, yolk, breath and movement. And when you get those two things to match, even when it's gentle movement, you start to find that meditative state where you can go inside. And a lot of times it's very uncomfortable, but it's just a practice, right? It's a practice. Just like forward is forward, yoga is a practice. And it's never going to be perfect because we're not monks. So you cannot sit and have no thoughts in between your two ears.
Oh, girl, no.
It's just not going to happen. And that's really not meditation. It's the practice of telling your anxiety and your worry, not now. I'm only focused on what's good. And then connect back in with your breath. And then when that thought re-enters, the anxiety or the worry, we say, not now. And then we come back to our breath. And we focus on the positive, our breath, slow movement. And then the spaces in between the run-on sentences get longer the more we practice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Again, we could just listen.
I know, just keep talking. Keep talking.
Let me get my pillow and blanket. Read us a story,
We could do a whole meditation right now.
Christa, have you ever thought about starting a podcast of your own?
Yeah.
So I have, for sure. And I've had so many people when I teach at, I'm fortunate enough I get to teach at Limelight Palooza, which is our huge convention.
Oh, cool.
And I love teaching there because it's bringing yoga to women that a lot of times don't make time to, move their bodies because they're taking care of their families and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got to teach it in front of the mountains this year. And
Oh, wow.
everybody was like, will you make a podcast? Will you just your voice? And so, but again, it's like that stepping out in fear. Like,
Yeah.
oh, there's so many people doing it already. So it's something I'm working up my courage to do here.
I love that. Well, we're on your team for sure.
And I'm on yours. Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. That was a fast 30 minutes talking with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we will, when we do post the episode, we'll, share all of your information so people can follow you or get in contact with you if they would like. Again, she does coaching, she does makeup, she does so much in the community. I mean, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
you guys
you,
have
love.
a wonderful day.
You
and let
too.
your inner light shine.
We will. You too. Bye.
Bye.